G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing on this lovely evening? Oh man, there's a spider on my bike and it went inside the transmission area and I don't know what to do about it. I tried to flick it off the damn thing, but it fell straight in because I didn't quite get it right. Ah, Australia, isn't it great? Spiders at every nook and cranny of the thing. Oh well, it's only a spider, life goes on. Anyway, what has happened at all? What's been lacking? You've been riding, you've been grinding. What's been happening in your life, alright? Lately, we've been doing all kinds of ridey things. The bike night has returned, as you saw from the last video, so it's actually been quite a few days now. I've been let out of the asylum because they finally realised that I'm not insane, I just love motorcycles, because I spent 38 years staring at photos even though I'm 25 years old. But yes, alas, we move on. But I do have a lovely topic today, and it's actually a good time of day to try this topic. I wasn't sure if I'd end up getting lucky or not for context reasons. But what I'm basically saying is that when you ride a motorcycle, traffic essentially doesn't exist, okay? And there's a good reason for it, unless you're living in a sissy area where you're not allowed to lane filter or lane split, because you can't do it. Damn, it must be such a shame. Although, if I learnt anything from most people in places that can't lane filter, they don't really give a shit if they do it or not, because they can. Anyway, before we go, this is where the spider went in this little thing here. Bastard. Oh, yes. But off we go. Thank God that Coke truck's not there. My dad used to drive Coca-Cola trucks like that and deliver stuff. But alas, we move on to a lovely day of riding. But yeah, man, of course, it's 4:21, and usually there's a lot of school traffic and whatnot coming on right now. But of course, because I'm doing a video about how bikes don't exist in traffic, or traffic doesn't exist for bikers, that one, there's not a single goddamn car in front of me, of course. But the point being is, if you live in a heavily built-up area, probably not in like an Asian country where traffic can be all kinds of hell. I'm talking like in your Western countries where traffic can be bad, but it's not the end of the world. Like say you live in New York, for instance, or California, or Melbourne. Traffic can be quite annoying at some points of the day. Now, this is Springvale Road. Now, this is notorious as one of the worst roads in Australia for accidents and problems, so naturally, it can be quite the shit show when it comes to riding on it, which is completely understandable, or driving for that matter. I had to give those guys a bit of a ride because all those blokes, when they came by, gave us a smile when I revved up. So, you know, you have to do it for some people. You got to put on a show for some of the people. But yeah, Springvale Road is notorious as a garbage road to bloody be on. So, naturally, when there's traffic, you can imagine it's an absolute chocker-blocker. So having a bike eliminates all of it. So imagine if you're like this. Now, that might be the only instance where you do get stuck behind cars when riding a bike in Australia, at least, is because you can't really fit through some of those turning lanes. It's a little bit cramped. A little wee bit cramped. But fortunately, this is why we ride small bikes. Ugh, Tesla. I'll tell you what, ever since I started riding bikes, it's really hard to go back to driving the car now, because when I'm driving the car, you're sitting in traffic and you're like, I can fit through that gap, couldn't I, if I really wanted to? Or I could fit through that gap and I could lane filter there and I could sneak along through there. And when you're driving, you're sort of just like, oh, a Vulcan. You're just kind of like, I'm stuck here. This is disgusting. Now, fortunately for me, the other side of the road is where all the traffic is, and on this side, there's like a whole lot of nothing, so I don't understand. I just wanted to make a video with context, and naturally, the context matter is on the wrong side, and it's making it very hard to explain these things. But yeah, if you can imagine sitting in that, as opposed to my lovely side, you can understand why it's a hella shit time to ride in traffic, or if you can't filter at least. But driving, if you work a 9 to 5, you know all about the evening traffic and the morning traffic, and if you're driving, it's a shit time most of the time. But if you get a motorbike, however, you can go through all kinds of trafficy goodness. Oh, is that a gap? I'm sneaking in. And that's why you can see when you're having a GPS thing, it might say 30 minutes for something, and then on a motorbike you might clock that in 20, because well, sometimes you can just fit in spaces you're just not supposed to, and save yourself a lot of time, especially around construction sites when there's like barriers, but you can still sort of fit in things. Sometimes you can really sneak through comfortably. Like, oh, I love that this is slow-moving traffic, but guess what? I'm faster slow-moving traffic, and it no longer exists. So half the time you're riding in traffic, you're actually not stopped. You might be riding slower, which is completely fine, but you're never stopping for traffic, which is what, you know, I think really pisses you off as a driver, is becoming stationary. But as long as you're moving, it doesn't feel as, you know, garbage, because you're still faster than if you were in a car, but you're still not super, like, you know, empty traffic speeds. But it's enough to make you feel comfortable and happy that you're not, you know, stationary, which, God have mercy, can drive us nuts. Let's just sneak to the front here, and always, that's another benefit. You usually sneak straight to the front, which is, well, it just feels better now, doesn't it? Oh, the CBR. But there's a reason why my Falcon's battery is basically dead half the time, is because I don't tend to ride in the wet only, okay? So my car does not get driven, because in every other instance that it's not pouring with rain, guess what? My car is being used. And what are the odds of this? We pull up behind the old XR6 Ute with a fucking MB Augusta badge on it, mate. Or sticker, I suppose. Now that is quite lovely. MV Augustas are gorgeous bikes, but I would never own one because they have so many problems. And look at Mustangs. I wouldn't mind a Mustang either, as long as it's a V8 like that one is. Imagine buying a 4-cylinder Mustang and calling it a Mustang. You might as well buy a Marquis and laugh at yourself the same way. But yeah, man. Oh, there is so little time I drive now. And when I finally get my de-restricted license so I can finally have a pillion passenger, my car is going to be so unused, it's going to be dirty. My girlfriend is going to be forced to sit on the back of the bike, whether she likes it or not, but I know she does. But my helmet will get dinked every 2 seconds, because every time I change gears, she headbutts me. Something's happening around here, and it looks like it's quite the intense something, because everyone wants to change lanes, meaning something is upon us. And I don't really want to sit behind these cars to find out. Hello. There's a bus. And everyone is crawling next to the bus. My boy, you are. Oh, it's a police moment, that's why. Yeah. That would explain it. God. I hate the fact that we changed the law that we have to go 40 k's around police cars and ambulances now. I understand it. It's definitely a good change for the safety of, like, the emergency workers, but slowing us down, man. Slowing me down. Oh well, it is what it is. Let's go this way today. Let's go through some Backstreets now, see if there's any traffic down near the schoolway. Oh, look at this. These are the things you can't do in a car. Oh, it feels good fucking. I love it. Yeah, I hate fucking waiting behind cars in those instances. Look, that was probably not the smartest turn in my life, because I was in the wrong gear, so it didn't quite work out as well as I wanted it to. But also, I was up with the traffic, so I guess it wasn't the end of the world. Oi. This road can be a nightmare, but we're not going to be on it for too long. Hello, little MX-5. Goodbye, little MX-5. See, it's moments like that, brother. You can get away with such things. You can't always pull off these maneuvers with vehicles that are bigger than two-wheeled options. Even trikes can still be quite the bulky vehicle. I can't see a goddamn thing with these sunlights in my eyeballs. Life good. Oh. You know when you look into a bright light and all you see is like a dot for the next like 20 minutes? That's all I'm seeing right now. So, there's a car in front of me. All I see is blindness. But that's okay. We're moving. We're boogieing. We're accelerating. We're grumming along. But yeah, man, you can see, even from that short little bit of, showing, that when you're on a bike, you can really sneak through quite a lot of the cars without much worry, which is kind of based, man. Oh, great. We're going to go here. And we're going to go turn right immediately. Hello, van. Oh, boy. I tell you what, though. As good as riding is, I still don't like riding in traffic because the risk still goes up. But thank God we don't have to be in traffic as long. I remember when I took my bike to get serviced once, my mum and sister dropped me off, and I swear I left 20 minutes later than they did. And I still caught up to them in like 10 minutes of riding because they got stuck in traffic on one of the freeways on the way back, which it's a 2-lane road. It's essentially completely blocked. But if you're on a bike, just rode straight through the middle like it was nothing, and it was great. This place is still under construction now. That's fine by me. We're going to go through the old Kingers of Way and probably wrap this up sooner than later. You know, fun fact, some guy got stabbed up here. It's a garbage place anyway. Here's a good example. If this place was chock full of cars, you can always sneak around them as well. So little bits like this are fun to ride in. But basically, bottom line is, man, if you're riding a bike and you have to go through traffic, I would take the bike every time. If you have the choice, at least. If you don't have a choice, well, then I would never bloody take the car if I didn't have one, obviously. I would just buy a lot of wet weather gear, because God knows sometimes driving can be a painful experience. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have time for on this lovely, lovely ride. Do take it easy, keep it cheesy, and as always, have a nice day, and get out and ride in some traffic, and then you can hate it less than, you know, if you're driving everywhere. But that's it. Peace. Bye.